Standing up for yourself. That's something I think that so often we can preach to other people and we can say, you need to stand up for yourselves. But sometimes there's blockages and it's so internal, it's so deep down that, it really takes a lot of work on your inner child to be able to finally say, I'm allowed to feel this way. I'm allowed to express the needs that I have, and I'm allowed to set boundaries for people. And quite frankly, if people can't accept the boundaries that you're setting for your own personal mental health and well-being, you don't need them in your life. You don't have to be angry and you don't have to hate them. You can release them with love. And how I feel is this heart-centered truth. Heart-centered truth has been coming up for me for, I'd say, a few weeks now. And where that means is, purging energies that no longer serve us, that don't serve our heart-centered truth. If we're not getting anything out of relationships, pay attention to the signs and just let them go. If you're feeling anxiety over situations with individuals, it's okay to take time off. With that standing up for yourself, sometimes it's hard because we don't know how to ask. Sometimes we choose to push people away, or just cut them off, retreat. And when that happens, sometimes they push back, and absolutely attachments are part of that. And one thing that, as a little bit, if you take a higher perspective on things and say, rather than just dismiss the person, take a look at the patterns on why is this here? What karma does this person serve? And once you release whatever that is, you're going to have a whole lot more ability to assess the situation more from here going out. Now that I've released the karma or the trauma that's attached to that pattern and how that made me feel, and I've taken steps to remedy that, whether it be, the situation or the friendship is healed, or you just have to move on. And you can move on in love. We can speak in a way that we can say what we mean without being mean. Sometimes we have communication barriers between people, and this is a lot perceptions and again, these patterns, these deep patterns seated to inner child type crap, and that's some of the hardest shit to get over. Your spiritual awakening is not for the faint of heart, the faint of mind. You gotta have spirit, and you have to be able to have faith that you're right. You're not crazy. Look for the synchronicities. Look for, things that speak to you, and follow your intuition. You're not wrong. Just do little tests. If you don't believe it, start manifesting by figuring out what it is you want and believing you already have it, acting as if you have it, and being grateful. Little affirmations. Abundance comes to me. I am flowing with cash. I have no financial worries, and I'm going to be safe. And I find, for me, there's a few things in a day that I would say help me. And if you're feeling in a day that, or any time really, but if you're feeling that you can't get a ground on things, your anxiety's high, you don't know maybe what's going on, take a minute, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and say, I am safe, I am protected, and I'm loved. And shield yourself and request that any negative energy or inauthentic energy around you, it can go. And get a smudge with sage, get some mist, use an incense you like, and as long as your intention with whatever smoke or mist, ask the negativity and inauthenticity, go out the window, goodbye, and release it with love. You know, you would like it to go out to the universe and just be cleared. And, you know, the energy that you're sending out is now positive and creative. You get to co-create your reality, and that sounds really weird, but so much of that comes from your mindset. Because, you know, you can look at what everyone else is going on around you. You know, and it used to be for me that people would expect, and I almost felt like I had to be involved in that trauma, and I had to be involved in it because of loyalties, and that I was expected to. And it's taken 32 years of my life to come up with the only loyalty that I need is with myself, with my heart, with my consciousness, with my soul. If everything and my actions can align with that, I'm a good person, I believe. I'm working on myself. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And honey, if they say that they aren't perfect, it's time to say goodbye. You know, nobody's going to be perfect and 100% right all the time. And we all have stuff going on. I'm sure even Buddha from time to time had a freak out. You know, and then you've got that guilt after. And you know what? If it happens, really move on from it. If it's something violent, you check yourself. You know, aggression's coming out. Take those breaths, saying I'm safe and protected. Take like the 5 breaths, 10 breaths, whatever it's going to take. Get out of the situation. You don't have to attend every fight that is offered to you. Your inner peace is the most important thing, right? So if somebody's coming in looking for a fight, and you can see this, you don't have to respond. You don't have to engage in that. There are ways to kind of quietly shut it down. And listening, maybe there's a reason. You know, people have trouble expressing themselves as well. And a lot of times the projections that come onto you is a lot of the real feelings that they're having trouble putting out, you know. And especially on the spiritual journey, we act as mirrors of each other. It's not, you know, we go around and we may see something we really don't like. And if it's still acting like, why was this so bad? Meditate on it. Take some time, you know, and just ground yourself and think about why is this bothering me? You know, and if you've grounded yourself and you've smudged yourself, and you've taken your time to meditate, I like rocks too sometimes, especially if you're going through extra hard times. You know, ground yourself. Get some snowflake obsidian, this little guy. Okay, or sometimes I like to have, I think it's bloodstone, but it's an odd one, a lot of red. Something with something just root chakra, black onyx, depending on where you go. Anything covering your heart, currently amber, just really focusing on myself, right? With my heart and myself. But where your jewelry or, you know, what you carry in your pocket, have something to you even that you can carry or hold, that if you need to calm down, grab it. You know, if, you know, there are ways of just not engaging, and that's also standing up for ourselves as well. By choosing our energies, standing up for our own right to keep our own inner peace, our own right to reject social standards of expectations, how people want us to react. Pay attention, like manipulation. Sometimes it's so deeply ingrained that it really takes stuff changing to see it. And once you see it, you're going to keep seeing it. And until all of that karma is cleared and all of those feelings of somebody else pulling your strings, essentially, get rid of them. And as you get rid of them, more and more, some that maybe you were painful and you've been denying, or you don't want to work on that, some of those are going to come up in an interesting way. Or you get to choose, though. You don't have to. You don't have to fight. You can choose. If somebody's coming in and you know that the situation could be combative, you can go about it in a way. Choose not to respond to the aggressiveness. Ask, okay, so why? Ask about feelings. People don't like to talk about those, but if they're coming at you with aggression, more than likely there's an issue with they're angry. And why? What'd you do? What didn't you do? Work that communication out. We don't need to scream and hurt each other to the core. So the last time I recorded myself, I was really looking at how things were connected and hurting branches, right? Twisting a branch off a tree, and how me thinking, okay, I'm just going to take this twig. But now I've really wounded the tree, and there's a whole lot of information when we root ourselves. Trees communicate through the roots. You know, they can send information wide. We don't really know what, you know, how far that is. So I'm thinking right now engaging in tree medicine might be helpful. Rooting yourself and finding your knowledge in your rooted self. Find out who authentically you are. Have faith that the journey you're on and all of this stuff that's going on, if you allow things that don't need to be here anymore and stand up for yourself, and all those people or those situations that have been holding you down, they're just going to go. And your anxiety levels are going to go. You're going to feel like I feel this change in my heart space, and almost just authentic. Anything that that shouldn't be there, it's going away. And as that changes, I really do feel like just a feeling of different in my chest. It's hard to explain, but physically this journey has changed me in so many ways. It's time to start taking care of myself too, and kind of giving myself a little tough love, and so to speak, standing up for myself. So not allowing myself destructive tendencies or whatnot that I really shouldn't do to get in my way, and giving myself some grace with that. Anyway, I've rambled, and I just thought this needed to get out there. Bye.